The final score: Preston North End 2, Wrexham 3. We're into the third round of the League Cup for the first time since 1981. Now there's a thing. And this was a terrific performance by Wrexham, with again Phil Parkinson making 11 changes from the side that played on Saturday. And, you know, all the speculations being about who will get moved out of the club. And a few players there, I think, made a case for staying on, or at least made a case for being considered part of the squad going forwards into this first half of the season. Preston made 8 changes, and, you know, I would argue there weren't players in their side who you'd be looking at and thinking, yeah, they're going to move them on possibly. So it was a great feat by the Wrexham side, who caused real issues for Preston throughout a lot of the game. The first half was rather like a microcosm of the Sheffield Wednesday game, really. Although Preston had more of the game, we looked decent in the early stages and the sides exchanged goals, but once we went behind, we really seemed, like in the second half of that Sheffield Wednesday match, to struggle, even though it was completely different personnel. We had exactly the same issues. We were penned in our penalty area and we weren't able to play our way out, and it looked alarmingly similar. But half-time, obviously, Phil Parkinson reminded the players of what they needed to be looking to do. And wow, that second half was very, very impressive. And by the end, even though we needed an extra time winner from Kiefer Moore to claim the victory, I don't really think that anyone could argue that the better side over the 90 didn't win it. Anyway, so like I said, a completely changed Wrexham side. And Preston got an early opportunity, which was a precursor for what was to come a minute later when they took the lead. 6th minute, Barnett on the right-hand side, Carroll with a robust challenge on him, not given as a foul, I think correctly, and he works it inside to Dobbin. Dobbin, on loan from Everton, was superb in the first half, and he does really nicely, feeds it into Jebbison and continues his run. Jebbison round the corner to Carroll, who's in one-on-one with Okonkwo, and from the edge of the area, right channel, just gets underneath it and blasts it over. Now, don't get me wrong, I think he should shoot in that position, but like I said, Dobbin had continued his run and had popped up in the D inside him and was on for a pass. Carroll didn't play at this occasion, but he learns from that experience, and just over a minute later, way behind, when they do combine, this time it's good work to find Carroll, and in a similar spot, not a sight of goal perhaps, Dobbin makes the same sort of run, gets into the D, and this time Dobbin rolls him in very nicely. Carroll rolls him in nicely, and Dobbin, nice work. Just little touches outside of his right foot to set himself and curls it into the top left corner, and it's 1-0. No chance for Okonkwo. And I would say as well, it was another illustration. We've had so many already this season of the higher level of the Championship. I'm sorry to keep banging on about it, but, you know, it's true. When you look at it, at the time you think, oh dear, we've allowed a lot of space there. But when you look at it, there's some quality play in it. I mean, firstly, Dobbin, who constantly is just picking up these little positions a little bit deeper, left-hand side. Paul Heckenbottom said afterwards that because he'd not been at the club when they did a lot of their tactical work, they essentially said he can have a free roll for his debut and just attack how he wants to, and he relished it. I think Heckingbottom maybe should consider whether to slightly adjust his plans to accommodate Dobbin doing that. So he kept making these nice late runs down the left channel into dangerous areas, and so that's one thing, the intelligence of Dobbin arriving at a good time. But also, when you look at it, and this is not a criticism of Owen O'Connell at all, but maybe the key factor that allows Dobbin that split second to set himself and hit it in the top corner is that O'Connell is looking to cover, because it's a 3-on-3 little overload in the middle of the pitch, and our defence loses a bit of shape, and O'Connell just for a moment has his back turned to Dobbin, The ball hasn't arrived with Dobbin yet, so I'm not criticising O'Connell, but just that fraction of a second he needs to turn and face Dobbin is that fraction of a second a player of Dobbin's quality needs to set himself and curl it in the top corner a little lower down, and O'Connell would have been able to get there and get the block in, I'm sure. So Wrexham go behind, but we'd been bright in the early stages, and 4 minutes later we equalise. A super goal. I mean, I've got to say, Doyle coming in for his debut, you know, I looked at him and was deeply impressed by him. Having seen him in a Wrexham shirt, even though he was lacking minutes, he delivered, and his use of the ball in that move is great. Smith and Hardy up front making lots of good runs off the ball. Doyle hits Hardy with one, and then, gosh, it's all of Hardy's doing then. Left side of the box, on the touchline, he cuts back inside onto his right foot. He's, like I said, right on the line on the left side of the area, about 15 yards out, and he just curls an absolutely unsavable shot that fizzes into the top right corner. Just dips at the last moment perfectly. Nobody on earth's going to save that. And Wrexham are level. Absolutely superb. We push on for a bit more, but Preston again start to look threatening. Devine dropping off, feeding the ball inside. Again, helped round the corner nicely by Carroll. And again, Dobbin is running in from deep. These combinations around the edge of the box are looking really, really good. He zigzags into the box. It's great feet. Scar lunges in. Dobbin goes down. Now, I've got to be honest, I thought the ref was going to give a dive. Scar plays the ball. So it's a good tackle. It's one of those challenges. If he gets it slightly wrong, it's a penalty. But he does lunge in and he gets contact. Dobbin's dive is very, very theatrical. So I must be honest, I thought maybe the ref would stop play. Also, because of that instance, whether it catches Wrexham out or not, Barnett gets a foot to it to try and clear. Gets it partially away, but it falls invitingly for Paul Valentine on the edge of the box, right-hand side. And he drills a really well-struck volley, but Okonkwo is alert. He's tracked across and he gets a good parry in to make sure nothing comes from it. But there's more danger to come soon afterwards. A long ball in the box. Scar heads it up in the air somewhat. Evans and Jebison are wrestling underneath it. O'Connell comes to try and help as well. The ball drops loose and Devine tries a snapshot. It's a good idea. Doesn't quite get hold of it, but still, Okonkwo has to be sharp when the shot comes in from 10, 15 yards out to parry it because it's coming at him. The goal comes in the 33rd minute, and having had to dig in a little bit and withstand this intricate play that Preston are managing around the edge of the area, it's a frustratingly simple one. A corner from the left, Devine puts it into the near post. Torderson and Jebison are pinning players in the 6-yard box. And Lindsay, the big centre-back, is being marked by O'Connell, but he's managed to get goal side of him. He gets there first 6 yards out and heads the ball powerfully into the net. No chance for Okonkwo. And the remaining 15 minutes of the half are a hard watch for Wrexham. As terrific travelling support keep behind them, but they're at the end and seeing Wrexham really ship a lot of punishment, desperately holding on. But just, again, like the Sheffield Wednesday second half, we're not able to retain possession. When we get a foot in, we're just desperately hacking it away and it's coming straight back in at us again. We managed to resist until added time, but then we get lucky. Firstly, a free kick just to left of centre, just outside the box. And Devine drills it in, hits the wall, flicks over the bar. And then in the 3rd minute of added time, a real moment. Jebison breaking down the right, plays a lovely 1-2 with Dobbin. He's one-on-one with Okonkwo. Right channel, tightish angle. Okonkwo does the right thing, comes out quickly, makes himself big. Jebison, lovely finish, or nearly, does exactly the right thing. Dinks an excellent chip over the advancing Okonkwo, hits the near post and bounces away. What a difference I think it would have been if it had been 3-1 at half-time. But as it is, Wrexham coming at half-time. Phil Parkinson clearly works very well with them and reminds them of what they need to be doing. They can't be sitting off like that. They've got to be brave on the ball and pass the way out. And the second half is excellent, sustained, high-quality play from Wrexham. We are brave on the ball. We do move it around with confidence and we make chances. Really, really pleasing to see. We get started early. Harry Ashfield winning a header in midfield. Ryan Barnett doing well, cutting inside and switching it across to Doyle. Doyle surges forwards and looks to play a worldie of a pass. He's quite a long way out at the angle's almost impossible to play this sort of pass. He's looking to hit Smith, who was running off the back of Lindsay at the far post. Nearly gets him. Lindsay at full stretch just about gets enough on it to prod it away. Otherwise Smith would have had a tap in. Goodness me, but the vision and the execution by Doyle, absolutely top class. Next chance is Wrexham's, and really nice patient move again. Ends with O'Connell coming forwards, feeding the ball up towards the edge of the area, and on the rise, Smith tries to hit a shot on the sweep with his right foot just outside the box. Can't quite keep it down. Difficult technique to keep that down, but it's a good effort, struck well. Within a minute, Preston have an opportunity. Well, I say opportunity is a shot from outside the box, and there isn't much else they manage in the second half, as Wrexham look very good off the ball, and that mid-block works well when we need it to, which isn't that often in the second half. A long throw into the box. Scar heads it clear. It comes out to a fire. It opens up for him as he cuts inside, and so he tries to drive a shot from 25 yards. Evans lunges in well across him, just put him off, and it goes just wide of the right post. I think Okonkwo had it covered, to be fair. He's going quickly across to his left. And Wrexham, 4 minutes later, with 3 subs stripped and ready to come on, take a deserved lead. And, well, it's always very satisfying, isn't it, when Harry Ashfield scores his second goal of his career. And on this occasion, yeah, it was very pleasing to see Barnett again doing well, putting another good delivery in. It's headed away, but Doyle does ever so well to step in high up on the edge of the Preston box, left-hand side, prods it square. Lee helps it on quickly, and then Ashfield on the right channel, just outside the box now, strikes a shot, hits a shot, takes a deflection, and even though Walton, the keeper, has enough time to try and turn and dive in the right direction, he can't stop it going again at the right post. Harry Ashfield, a deserved reward for his performance, loving it. We do make the changes before the restart though, and they are decisive. We bring on 5 players. They all make an impact. That's not a criticism of the players who come off, but the 5 players who come on really inject more quality into what's already becoming a very good performance. So Dobson comes on for George Evans, Lewis Brunt comes in for Doyle, who's lacking minutes, and Ryan Longman comes in for Jacob Mendy. First appearance of the season, a good shift on the left-hand side. And they add more quality, and Wrexham continue to be on top. A mistake by Hughes is capitalised by Ashfield, who feeds Hardy, and he pops it inside quickly, and just for a moment it's a 2-on-1 break. Smith is running at his man, Hardy going around the outsides looking for the pass. Smith plays it, but it's intercepted and the opportunity is gone. But yeah, before long Wrexham are enjoying another long spell of pressure in the Preston half. Preston absolutely penned in, and in the end Dobson switches to the left hand side. Longman goes on a run, sweeps in a cross, which doesn't hit the target, but Barnett gets it back on the far post, finds O'Connell, he pulls it back, and Dobson, picking it up, does a really good Harry Ashfield impersonation. Looks like he's going to hit it from 25 yards, but it's a fake. He cuts inside onto his left man, beating his man, and then hits a powerful shot, which is really well blocked from about 10 yards out. Wrexham pushing and pushing and pushing. 2 more changes made, which will be crucial. Lewis O'Brien comes on for the excellent Ashfield. Kiefer Moore comes on up front as well for Smith, who again, lacking minutes, has really put in a very, very good shift. And we keep pushing. Lee has a free kick in a good position just outside the box, which is blocked by the wall. A weird thing happens for Preston, because they send on Osmajic, their top scorer, well, equal top scorer in the division, and obviously protecting him, didn't play him from the start, and he goes down with a rib injury, which looked a bit worrying. They, especially, there's interest in signing him. Whether this will have an impact on that, or an impact on their season, how long he's out, I don't know. The Heckingbottom didn't seem to know, the Preston manager. It was an odd one. I had to go back quite a few times to rewatch to see exactly what happened. It is a rib injury, that's been confirmed. He comes barrelling across when Wrexham had the ball to try and put pressure on Barnett. He doesn't get there. Barnett gets rid of it. I mean, I've got to be honest, at the time and looking at the replay, it looks like a foul by Osmaya John Barnett, who arrives quite late and seems to catch him. Barnett certainly doesn't seem to catch him, and there's not any contact is, below the knee anyway. But as Majic carries on, I don't know whether he can't stop himself and runs into the advertising hoardings, although when the camera pans away and you last see him, it doesn't look like that's going to be a problem unless he slipped somehow. But when it comes back, he's getting to his feet. He tries to walk back along the line, and then the next minute he's there on his haunches and he goes off. So worrying for Preston. Good news for Wrexham. Preston took Dobbin off at half-time, and that certainly didn't help them. And then Osmaic as well. Although, to be fair, Wrexham have mastered their own destiny in the second half. It's their overall improvement in our performance, which is taking control of matters. 6 minutes before the end again, it's Lee getting involved after a nicely worked short corner. O'Brien and Dobson working a 1-2. O'Brien prodding her on. Lee with a powerful shot. Again, Lindsay, who's terrific at the back, gets in the block. Within moments, there's an opportunity then for Preston. Small on the left-hand side, slips but does well to keep the ball, pirouette and help it on. And Michael Smith, like Small, another sub for Preston. They've been bringing on players who are playing in the league as well, who of course we all know is constantly been touted as a target for Wrexham up front. He drives forwards really well, rips a great shot from 25 yards with his right foot, which is curling under the bar. Excellent tip over by Arthur Okonkwo. Just gets enough on it to knock it over the bar. Wrexham coming back again in the 5 minutes of added time and starting to cause problems once more. Longman helping the ball inside. Dobson punching out first time. A nice ball out to Lee on the left-hand side. He rips in a cross, which hits a fire, deflects and looks like it might loop into the net. Walton has to be quick to tip it over. Walton does not do so well, though, when the corner comes in. Lee delivers it. Again, as usual, it's Lindsay heading it clear. Dobson tries a speculative volley from 25 yards, gets hold of it well, but it's blocked, and it spins out to Barnett. Barnett hangs a big one to the far post. Moore is dominant in the air. There's a shock for you. But what happens? Hands Moore a goal on a plate. Michael Smith is marking him. There's two giants for you. And Smith, I mean, it's the sort of thing where Preston are shouting for a foul on the keeper. So often refs take the easy way out and give a foul, of course, when a goalkeeper drops the ball in the goal mouth. But if it's a foul, it's a penalty. Smith has let Moore get goal side of him and has grabbed him with both arms around the chest very effectively. Must be a strong guy, Smith, because Moore can't move and make the challenge. So Smith, if he's getting away with it, has done a good job. Walton has a clear path, it seems, to catch the cross, but he bumps into Smith as he's catching it and drops it. And there's Moore to tap it into an empty net. Like I said, the Preston defenders are shouting for a foul. Smith and Walton aren't. Walton looks distraught. He knows it's just a handling mistake by him. Wrexham have the lead. Those Wrexham fans are going crazy. Moore is there, stoking them up. Preston start hurling players forwards. They've sent Story to centre-back up to play as another striker. Lots of height up there then with Smith. Torderson, who's a midfielder, is 6'2" or 3", and he's up there too, and Story. And they have one last moment. 4th minute of added time. Small does really well, breaking down the wing, stands the ball up to the far post. Brunt just goes up a little bit too soon, so Torderson is able to win the head at the far post, heads it against Brunt. It drops into the goal mouth about 8 yards out. Story, stepping back out from the 6-yard box, gets there first, looks to hit a shot on the pivot, but off balance he puts it over, and Wrexham are through. A fantastic win. Like I said, through to the 3rd round of the League Cup. That's a rarity. And what a stirring second half performance. We showed good signs in the first 20-25 minutes, but the way we turned that round after showing those bad habits we showed in that second half against Sheffield Wednesday was very encouraging, and quite frankly brings you a lot of hope that we can learn from what happened on Sheffield Wednesday and improve. Great debut for Doyle as well, and Wrexham go through. First win of the season. The final score of Preston North End 2, Wrexham 3. I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.